There have been a lot of ordinary South Africans from all corners of the country. There have been a lot of comrades who came from Mkhonto weSizwe, from the ANC, from the EFF, to say, what then do we do moving forward? Because I did explain to them what were the developments. And a substantial number of those say that don't ever try to join the ANC, and I fully agree with them. That will never join the ANC. It's directionless, it doesn't know what it's doing, it's in collaboration with the white system now. And there are those who say don't ever join or rejoin the economic freedom fighters because it's a cult, and I agree with them. There is no space for sound ideological reasoning, and there's no self-respecting person who can join both the ANC and the EFF. I agree with that fully. And there are those who said that these fundamental weaknesses with Mkhonto weSizwe, that the organization seems to be run by a family and seems to be inconsistent on issues of discipline, seems to be directionless and sometimes takes conservative and reactionary positions. I say that part of the reasons why we joined Mkhonto weSizwe, we could observe from far that we can't allow in South Africa a political organization that can become a tribalist and regional organization with such influence. Instead of throwing insults at MK, we have to play a role in contributing to its ideological character and politics and direction. And I think that we did successfully in terms of what happened. Now, these several observations about the organization of Mkhonto weSizwe, some are correct, some I will reserve my observations on because I can't abuse the fact that I occupied a very senior role and had access to almost every development that happens there. But those who want to hear my views privately, we can speak about that, but I will never abuse the fact that there's a role that we played. I did that when I left the EFF, that I said I will never speak bad about the EFF when I was MK, and I never did. And I will never speak bad about the MK. I will never demonize its perspective. But also of those who came, there are those who said that we should form a political party or a political movement to contest the 2026 and 2029 elections. My view about the formation of a political party is that a political party must never be founded by an individual. My prompt response to the first number of people who came was that let us not form a political party, let us fight within the existing political parties. But that if we were to form a political party, let us go to the people of South Africa and ask them if they want to have a political party. We can't form a political party as a group of friends and as few individuals. So a political party should never be an individual project where you feel like, no, I want to start a political party and then you start it. It must never be a family project. It's very dangerous to have political parties which are family run. A political party must not be a tribal or ethnic project. In South Africa of today, a political party must not be regional, must not even be a provincial party. A political party must not be a platform for self-enrichment. It must not be a fiefdom. It must not be a cult. If anything, a political party should be a fighting instrument and vehicle for the people of South Africa, must deeply espouse the principles of democracy and democratic consultations in terms of how decisions are taken. And then in March of 2013, I wrote a perspective as to why a political party should be founded. And that perspective is found in the is within the founding manifesto of the economic freedom fighters. And everyone else who came after that perspective joined that perspective and believed as to what we got to do. And of course, we got to discontinue our association with the EFF for various reasons, which if some were to speak about publicly, will cause collateral damages to families, to households, to people, because it will also speak to character, and that's some of the things that are not worth speaking about publicly. Thank you very much for the questions. I have not resigned from Mkhonto Wesizwe, and I will never resign from Mkhonto Wesizwe. I'm a member of Mkhonto Wesizwe. So the constitution of Mkhonto Wesizwe says that members are not allowed to participate in activities and programs of political parties whose aims and objectives are opposed to the objectives of Mkhonto Wesizwe. If Mkhonto Wesizwe believes that going to listen to the people violates the constitution, it will tell me that listening to the people is a violation of the constitution. I will not resign. I said I will never resign from Mkhonto Wesizwe. And I still stick by the decision and the communication that I made that it was the best decision ever to join Mkhonto Wesizwe. If Mkhonto Wesizwe believes that going to listen to the people violates the constitution, it will tell me that listening to the people is a violation of the constitution. I will not resign. I said I will never resign from Mkhonto Wesizwe. And I still stick by the decision and the communication that I made that it was the best decision ever to join Mkhonto Wesizwe. And I spoke about it earlier that how would we replace an opportunity to learn in 6 months what we couldn't learn in 10 years? Like a practical experience which you can never read in any textbook. Like and I knew from the beginning, from day one, that here we're about to start a journey of deep learning and understanding just what are the dynamics of South Africa's politics, not from a textbook point of view, or from social media point of view, because there are political leaders who are guided by social media and think trending on social media makes them relevant. Win all elections in social media, but on the ground, they're nothing wrong in terms of those issues. Where am I going to get the money to travel? You know, Zianda, for my 6 months as Mkhonto Wesizwe national organizer and secretary general, I've never used the money of Mkhonto Wesizwe to travel from any place to another place. Not once. Even when we travel out of the country. Because I be able to persuade people to contribute for travel, and I purposefully did that. Like I never got to be dependent on Mkhonto Wesizwe on anything. And I said that in the meeting that I didn't come to suck blood of Mkhonto Wesizwe's resources, and that is we will be able to move from point A to B. If we run out of petrol, we will check if we can be borrowed money to pour petrol. If there is no petrol, we'll hike. We'll stand on the street and say, this way we're going to Mthatha. And then go and speak to the people. That is what we're going to do. But moving from point A to B, we'll be able to move in terms of how the process is going to happen. See, on the corners, and say, but what is this thing that they're doing? They will tell you that that Ramaphosa is nonsense. That Ramaphosa is misleading us. But they won't tell him. Go to EFF people and they will tell you their own characterization of the leader of the organization and what is happening there. But they don't have the courage to tell him. Same in MK. And we can't have political culture like that. We must be able to, when you raise issues internally sharply, you don't have to go and gossip about it anyway. Now all the issues and concerns that I heard about MK, I raised internally. Even against all odds, if there's an opportunity to raise an issue about wrongdoing, I would speak. and clearly speak against the untouchables there. People who take drugs and tweet at night and insult us. And we'll confront them and say, what is this about? And that is basically how we deal with these issues in terms of what happens. We'll never tiptoe around anyone in terms of principles. Always protect principle on how we deal with these issues. Thank you. If there's deployment to Parliament, I think for stability of the organization, I can still add value to the organization even as an ordinary member of the National High Command and then contribute to its growth. That is what I said to the last conversation which we had with President Zuma. I did explain the issue and reminded President Zuma of the conversations on what ended up with the Malawi trip. And throughout my explanation and reminding him of our conversation in Namibia, he agreed to that. He says, "Ngakhumbula." When the DSG sitting next to me was even saying, wrote me a note that you are safe, they won't do anything to you. Then I was asked to leave the meeting, and then the meeting remained there. And then they said, I don't believe anything that he said. He wants to take over the organization. Actually, we must go and reverse all the decisions that he has taken. Let's disband all the structures. Let's reverse everything, including the constitution. I said, people can do whatever they want to do. We played our part. If the conviction is that what we're doing is wrong, it's okay. Like, we move on in terms of how we deal with these issues. There is no political party which is going to be funded from Malawi. Like, there is no political party that is going to be funded by Bushiri. We are going to listen to the people and will get guidance from the people as to... I'm not starting any solo project. We must stop these things that political parties are personal projects, like a music band, Brenda Fassie and the Black Dudes. That if Brenda Fassie is not there, the Black Dudes can't operate. A political party can't have that character. But you have got political organizations in this country which are like Brenda Fassie and the Black Dudes. Where if Brenda Fassie is not there, the Black Dudes are not there. We can't have an organization like that. There must be an organization that exists in every corner of South Africa, whether there is a Floyd or no Floyd, or whoever is there must be the expression of the collective ideals of the political party. That is basically how we dealing with all of